What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Residual Earners Podcast, episode 28.
Wow.
I think it's 28. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Presley.
And today we have another life lessons podcast today, going over some really good stuff. There's some really good lessons. Get a notepad, get a pen, because we're going to dive in and we are going to get after it.
Hey, tell them real quick, though, what we have been up to, man.
We are officially TikTok livers.
I mean,
it is blown my mind. Every morning we're getting up, guys. We're doing TikTok lives, which again is similar to our podcast. We're here to give, positivity, success, and motivational tips. We're wanting to just bring some light into people's mornings. We've been doing 1 a day, 2 a day, and, just really trying to build on that platform and spread some success and motivational tips each morning.
I'm blown away by how many people we've had.
It's bizarre, guys.
Like this morning, we had over 12,000 people kind of jump in for a few minutes and listen to us.
Guys, and if you are one of those new subscribers that has come from TikTok, we cannot thank you enough. Y'all have blown us away. We go on TikTok and talk about the free book giveaway that we are doing, guys. Both of Presley's books. You have to follow us on TikTok, follow us on the YouTube platform, and
subscribe, in other words.
Subscribe, and then leave in the comments free books, guys. We're going to keep doing those. But it's bizarre because we go on there and we end up with 100 comments on a video, from going on one morning. I mean, it's crazy.
I have never done lives, but I'm a believer now, and it's pretty crazy what all we've got going on.
I mean, it's just, it is crazy, guys. And like I said, we can't thank y'all enough because y'all are the reason we do it.
I mean, we've got we've done it 3 days, and we've got 4,000 followers.
4,000 followers. And it'll be interesting to see, guys, that what will happen when this airs, because this is pre-filmed a little bit, so it will come out in a few weeks after we've started these, because we're only on day 3 right now on TikTok lives. But it's crazy to see the growth of the channel just from that. And again, guys, we talk about getting out of your comfort zone, doing stuff that you're not used to doing, and this podcast is a great example of that for Presley and I, because we took a step out. We had never done a podcast, like we've told everybody, this morning on live, guys. And for those that y'all that have been here since day one, we look like, Martians. We're green, the lighting's terrible. It's in my home office, and then it's step by step learning and getting better and doing a lot of the things that we preach to you guys to just, take a step out of your comfort zone, continue to improve, continue to get better. And it's amazing where you can go. And now it's like, look at the set, look at the, the conversation we have, the people we've had on. I think it's really, leaps and bounds since our first one. And
you even look better with that sign behind you.
We talk about it a lot. We probably annoy people with how excited we are about a neon sign, but we are excited. And but the same thing applies to now. We're always looking for new areas to improve the following of this podcast. And so we've learned from the Cowboy, Randy Hedge.
Yep.
Obviously he does a ton of TikTok lives, and so we decided, let's take another step out of our comfort zone. We don't even know what we're going to say, what we're going to do. And 3 days in, we've improved a ton.
Well, when we got on, we were literally thinking, I hope we just have a few people come on. And then we got 5 or 10, and we were pretty pumped up about it. And then the next time we looked up, it was like 1,100 people were on with us. And, I mean, it blew us out of the water.
Yeah.
Or it did me anyway. I mean,
me as well. It's blown me out of the water. But, guys, again, we do what we preach, and, stuff may be a little uncomfortable for us, whatever it is, but we're willing to try it and put everything into it to see if it works. And this obviously is something that's working to grow, our podcast that we're so passionate about right now.
Yeah, we didn't know if we'd be successful at being on live with TikTok. I mean, we did not, but it has blown us out of the water, and it's in huge part because of you guys. So thank you so much. But this kind of goes with my first live lesson. I usually don't read something, but I'm going to read this now, guys. I need to give credit where credit is due. My points came from Zig Ziglar, Art Williams, and Jim Rohn. So understand, those are three of my role models. I've been blessed to actually get to know them, and they have been role models for me. And I took points from different talks they've had, and I came up with just a handful of life lessons that'll help us in business. It'll help us in life. It's just going to help us, period. But you're talking about getting out of your comfort zone and doing something to make a change. I think this hits it. Here's my first one. Let others lead small lives, but not you. Let others argue over small things, but not you. Let others cry over small hurts, but not you. Let others leave their future in someone else's hands, but not you. Guys, this is really just saying we've got to take responsibility. We've got to look in the mirror and say, if it's to be, it's up to me. We've got to be responsible for our own lives. We've got to quit kicking the can down the road or blaming it on somebody else. I could have blamed mine on, well, granddad was poor. Dad was poor. I'm just supposed to be poor. I mean, you can have that attitude. You can have the attitude of, I'm going to get bitter. I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. We didn't have any money. I'm bitter about it. No, I didn't want to get bitter. I decided to get better. I mean, it's all up to us, guys. We can change the course of our lives. Can we change it overnight? No, but we can change our direction overnight and see what happens, guys. If you just turn the ship, get it aimed in at least the right direction, even if it's moving slow, you're at least going to where you want to be.
Definitely, guys, and it's that daily task of doing exactly what you want to do and being smart and knowing each day what you need to do to overall attain the goal you're after.
Absolutely. My next point on life lessons today.
Life lessons.
I'm pretty pumped up about doing these life lessons.
Life lessons with the coach. I don't know why I'm putting "the" in front of everything these days.
The Residual
Learners podcast, guys. The coach is right here.
If you're new on here, I'm called the coach a lot because I spent 16 years coaching high school basketball. So a lot of my guys, if I see them, they still call me coach. So I have just kind of kept the coach name, not trying to do it. It is just stuck around. But my next one is, how much money should you make? And I'm going to say as much as you can. Now, with that said, I'm not saying that money's the most important thing. My priorities are the good Lord first, family second, business and making money third. I also think while you're making this money, you should be working on personal growth, relationships, your spiritual life, your health. I'm saying we should be working on lots of things as we're making our money. And when I say as much as you can, guys, to whom much is given, much is required. I've learned the best way to help the poor is to not be one of them. My gosh, I donate to church. I donate to Pastor Romero Pena's TV ministry. I help people that are in need. I help little league teams. When you have some success, you can start helping people. But how much money should you make? As much as you can. Jordan, you're over here filming me. What are we doing here?
I was putting something on Instagram for everybody to see.
Is that what it was?
It was, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no. You keep going. You're doing a great job.
Well, give me a thought on how much money should you make? As much as you can. Give me a thought there.
As much as you can. And guys, again, we're not about just, dollars and material things here, but as my dad always says, you got to at least make money and pay the bills, because if you can't pay the bills, it's hard to have a great quality of life, guys. And I don't I don't think about the dollars made as much as achieving the goals that I want to achieve, because I know that if I achieve the things I want to achieve, the dollars and money will come. So I take it more on a goal basis, saying, hey, I want to do this. I want to get my business to this point. I want to get this podcast we're so passionate about to here. And it's like, if I do these things, I know I will be fine financially.
Absolutely. I'll say it again. The good Lord should be first on your priority list because we're going to all stand in front of him one of these days. Number two, our family. I know billionaires that are miserable. They couldn't spend all the money they've made, but they put that in front of their family. They lost their family, and now they're miserable, even though they've got billions. And then, good Lord, family, then making money. I mean, and is making money important? Yes. You know, it's hard to work on other goals if you're struggling to just pay the bills. You know, I get this sometimes. People will go, well, all you think about is money. No. When I had no money, all I thought about was money. I mean, you know, when you're trying to figure out how I'm going to pay the bills, Jordan needs a new baseball bat. How am I going to do that? It's $350. I need to come up with $350 to get him a new baseball bat. Sarah Beth needs an outfit for a concert. How am I going to come up with the money for that? I mean, Jeannie's spending money, and she and I are fighting over it. And I mean, if you have no money, I promise you, you're going to think about money a whole lot more when you have none than you do when you start making some money. So how much money should you make? As much as you can. Just keep your priorities straight. My next point on life lessons. If you don't like how things are, change it. You're not a tree. Did you know you're not a tree, Jordan?
I do now.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, I think sometimes we get in our rut and we just don't see a way out. And I think one of the saddest things going on in America is that we've quit dreaming and we've just settled. We've just said, hey, this is the way it is. I'm gonna finish on out. Guys, if you have settled and you're just finishing on out, life is miserable. I'm telling you, life is miserable. I'm excited about life. I'm 66 years old and I've got as many goals as I did from 20 years ago. I am still going and wanting to accomplish and wanting to grow as a person. I want my spiritual life to be better. I want to be healthier. I want better relationship with my family and my friends. I mean, guys, I've got so many goals that I'm trying to accomplish. I'm excited about life. Understand, you're not a tree. A tree can't move. You can move, but it's going to take you making a decision to change your life. You got to make a decision that you're going to do something different, because if we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. And I'm not saying run out and quit your job, but my gosh, start you a side business. If you want a traditional business, then by golly, start a side business. If you want a side hustle, if you want to do whatever, Uber, I mean, whatever you're wanting to do in a side hustle, great, start it, do it. If you want to join a network marketing company, that was my avenue. I didn't have much money to get anything going in networking. You can get started for $200, $300, $400 usually, and I mean it was something I could scratch up the money, and obviously it's been a life changer for me. But whatever you decide to do, you're not a tree. You can move. Let's make a decision. Let's make a change.
And it's all about taking those first steps. Like, we keep saying the same stuff, guys, and if you listen and start, applying these practices, you will start achieving some level of success that you want to. And it's taking that first step, getting out of that comfort zone, and achieving the things that you want to achieve.
Yes. And my next one, this one is so key. Jordan talks about this a lot, so I'm going to let him handle this one. But success and happiness is not a destination. It's a journey. So some of the happiest times of my life was when I was in the ghettos at 8724 Dunlap Drive, living in a little old 600 square foot house with no money in the ghettos. I mean, some of the happiest times of my life. It's not where you are. Talk about that one, Jordan.
Definitely, guys. We all, it doesn't matter where you're at on the success ladder. You always want more. And it's not about trying to be happy once you arrive there, guys. It's enjoying the journey. If you're in a situation right now that you want to get out of, and you want to improve your quality of life, improve your financial picture, and improve all these different areas of your life, first you got to set that goal of, hey, I want to be here, whether it's a new job, a new business that you're starting, whatever it may be. Guys, set that goal, and then it's going to take hard work, but enjoy that journey. Don't be miserable on the way there, because I don't know the numbers on it, but I would dare say people that are miserable during the journey do not get there as many times as the people that enjoy the journey and know it's going to be tough and know that it does take hard work, and be happy through through that hard work, enjoy the journey, and when you get there, it will feel so much better.
Yes, and that what you just said, Jordo, feeds into my next one, and this one is one that I think will kick you in the shins. I mean, I think it'll get you, and that is, we must all suffer from one of two pains. Okay, one or two pains. You're going to suffer from one of them. Which one do you want to suffer from? The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is discipline weighs ounces, while regret weighs tons. I have never stood by somebody's deathbed, and I'm at a point in time in my life where I've done that a few times now. I've never heard somebody talk about, them taking a chance, them doing something, even if they failed. I've never heard them say that I wish I hadn't have tried that, or I wish I hadn't have done that. I have heard many times, though, people laying on that deathbed regretting not taking a chance, not taking a challenge, not changing their life. I have seen that many, many times. Guys, we've all had good ideas of stuff that we wanted to start, stuff we wanted to do, how we wanted to grow. We wanted to start a business. We wanted to go back to school. We wanted to whatever. Jordan's a perfect example of going back to school. He got drafted by the Cardinals in the second round after his sophomore year at Arizona State. But years later, he went back and finished his corporate accounting degree. I mean, and I'll say this, I was there watching him. He's trying to work full-time job. He had had kids, and he's finishing up a corporate accounting degree. It wasn't some simple degree, but we are going to regret things that we don't do. I'm challenging you. Do whatever hits your mind. Give it a shot. Even if you fail, give it a shot. You're going to be happy you did, because some of them are going to work out, guys, and your life could be totally different. Talk about what did it take for you to make that decision, knowing it's going to be a tough decision, to go back to school and do something like that?
Seeing my wife get her second degree was big, and seeing, the joy that it brought, and I was so proud of her getting her second degree. But it's always the personal growth journey. It's knowing you want to be better, knowing you want to acquire these skills. And for me, it was corporate accounting and really understanding the financial picture of businesses. And I wanted that knowledge, and I knew it was going to be a hard work, because, guys, I was married, had Grayson, I'm assuming 2019, had Willa. So, when I was finishing up, I had already had 2 kids. And, but it was, knowing that acquiring that knowledge, the hard work put in, was going to be worth it.
Amen. Guys, I promise you, discipline can be tough. Doing what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, whether you feel like it or not. Like yesterday morning, we started our live at 6 a.m. So I usually get up early, but I was up earlier than I usually am. And I had already had some coffee, had my shower, fully dressed. I'm ready to go at 6 a.m. That I paid a little bit of a price right there. I mean, that discipline, because I could have easily stayed in bed another hour, I'm telling you. Yep. But it's that discipline that got us to do it. And, we still weren't sure what to expect, but the response has been phenomenal. I'm so glad I did. And if I hadn't, I'd be regretting it, wondering how it would have turned out if we hadn't have done it. Yep. Guys, I'm telling you, step out of your comfort zone, do it. Okay, next one. This is a Jim Rohnism. I'll give Jim credit for this one, because I love this one. The challenge of leadership is to be strong but not rude, be kind but not weak, be bold but not bully, be thoughtful but not lazy, be humble but not timid, be proud but not arrogant, have humor without folly. There's a lot to that there, guys. I'm going to just start by saying I can simplify that, is that if you're a leader, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You've probably heard that one before, but that is so true. When I was coaching, I felt like I was a combination friend, father, coach to my players. Felt like I was that. But I had a line in the sand that they knew they couldn't cross the line. We would have some good times. I would get out there in the off season and play basketball with them. We'd have a great time. But there was also a line in the sand. When Jordan was growing up, I was a friend to him, but I was also his dad. But he knew there was a line in the sand that he could only push it so far. Now he's kicked the sand everywhere, and there's no line anymore. I mean, but I'm telling you, you can be strong and still be nice to people. I'm telling you. And just because that you show compassion to folks does not mean you have to look weak. Leadership is something that we can all do. And I know some of you thinking, well, I'm not really a leader. You can be if you want to. You can be a leader. Now, you're going to have to grow as a person and all that sort of stuff, but you can do anything you set your mind to. You can be a leader, but just understand, people need to know that you care before you can start telling them what to do. I believe that is such a key, because if not, you kind of come across as a tyrant. They think that you don't give a rat's rear about them, and you're just bossing them around all the time. I always try to let people know I do care about you. Now, if I'm the boss, you got to do what I say, but I do care about you, and I want to hear your thoughts on it, but I will make the final decision.
Definitely. No, I mean, it's very important to have that line and know where it's at. And, you bring up so many good points, and that's why, we're excited to bring guys the life lessons here, because again, if you just get a notepad, take some notes and apply some of these things, it's really cool how much you will accomplish.
Amen. All right. My next one is, don't let your learning lead just to knowledge, let it lead to action. I was bearing my soul this morning, Jordo, on the live, telling people one of the things that I fight, and understand, my gosh, I've got a lot of shortcomings, guys, but one of the things I fight big time is procrastination. It doesn't really matter how much you know if you never put it into action. I think one of the biggest keys to success is you've got to take that step out. You've got to get that do it now mentality, the power of now. When I made the decision that I was going to start doing it now, it has made just a huge difference in my life. Huge. I used it. I'll give you an example. I used it Friday. I used my do it now attitude. I used it Friday. I'm in networking. I'd met a young man named Prem, and I liked the guy a whole lot. He and I kind of hit it off. I said, do you look at other ways to make money? This was at a restaurant, and he said, yes, I do. And I said, okay, here's my card. What's your number? So I had his number. And, I thought, Friday it crossed my mind, I'll call him. I'll call him, see if we can hook up. And then it hit me, it's Friday afternoon. He's probably got plans. I don't want to bother him, yada, yada, yada. And then it kicked in. I thought, nope, I'm going to do it now. All he can do is say he's busy. All he can do is say no. So I called him. He said, no, I don't have any plans this evening. I said, hey, why don't you run by the house and you and I can visit. Well, bottom line, shorten this story up. He comes by the house. I show him what I do. He decides he wants to join us, and he's all excited about changing his life. I almost didn't say something because it's Friday and I don't want. Guys, have that do it now mentality. And if you'll have that do it now mentality, good things are going to happen. I'm telling you, if you need to make a call, do it now. If you need to send a text, do it now. If you need to craft an email, do it now. If you need to set an appointment, do it now. If you want to go back to school, do it now. If you want to start a business, do it now. If you want to start a side hustle, do it now. If you want to join a networking company, do it now. Whatever you decide you want to do to change your life, do it now.
The success that you are wanting is in the work you're avoiding, guys. And you got to take that first step. You got to get out there. You got to quit procrastinating, quit letting that stuff that can change your life slip away because you don't want to put in the effort to do it, and do it now.
Say that again. I like that little quote you threw in there.
Which one?
The one you just threw in there about the success you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
I'm not taking credit for that. That's from Larry, but the success that you're wanting and looking for is in the work that you're avoiding.
So you're giving it to Larry Raskin? Is that what
I'm
doing?
giving it to him. I don't want to take credit for that one.
Well,
that is a good one.
It is a good one. And the way I do that is I'll give him credit 2 or 3 times, and then it's mine.
Okay.
I sound, guys, you may go, well, Presley, boy, he comes up with all that good stuff. No, I've just listened to a lot of people. I've been to a lot of conferences. I watched a lot of YouTube on personal growth. I've read a lot of books. maybe 5% of the stuff I come up with is something I come up with. The rest of it, I borrowed it from somebody else. I mean, it just is what it is.
Borrow it and make it your own.
Yeah, you borrow it, give them credit for a little while, and then it's yours, Now, I'm not going to plagiarize a book, but, I'll plagiarize one thought, Anyway, your income is directly related to your philosophy, not the economy. Let's think that one through. When I was growing up, we were dirt poor. I mean, Jordan knows this, dirt poor. He's seen the house I grew up in, dirt. Let me say it again, dirt poor. My mom worked in a sewing factory, and that was the only source of income for our family till I got old enough where I could work. We were poor. I had a poverty mentality. My philosophy was poverty. I mean, that is how I thought. I had to change my thought process. I had to get different thoughts in my mind because your circumstances are because of your actions, and your actions are because of your thoughts. And I had that poverty philosophy about my life. So I'm telling you right now, it's all about you changing your philosophy. You've got to understand that you can be, do, and have more. You've got to understand that you can make as much money as you want to make. I believe that us common folks, which I promise you, we're as common as they get, us common folks, if we just have reasonable intelligence, I certainly am not the sharpest knife in the drawer. If we just have reasonable intelligence, we can do anything that we set our mind to, but it's going to fall into the category of I've got to change my philosophy on making money. It's not just about the economy and all that outside influences. It's more about the way I think.
Yep. It's all about it. And how do we change our thinking? By reading good books, by listening to personal growth giants, and actually paying attention and doing those things. It's one thing to open up a book, but if you can't remember what you read on the last page because your mind's everywhere else, it's not doing anything for you. Guys, when he talks about reading 10 pages a day for a year, and which is 10 to 15 good books, and if you actually, for those 10 pages, lock in, stop thinking about other things and focus, be present in the moment, that's how you change your life.
You just said something that's worth people listening to this whole podcast. If you will be present in the moment and pay attention, because I've done it where I'll sit there and I'm reading, but my mind is really somewhere else. And after I read the whole page, I'll sit back and go, what did I just read?
Exactly.
I mean, and then other times I am laser focused. I'm into it. I am, paying attention to myself basically. And I'm in the moment. And when I finish reading the page, I go, man, that was powerful. And it's two totally separate thought processes. You got to zero in on what you're doing. You got to be in the moment and watch what happens.
Definitely.
All right. Motivation alone is not enough. You're going to get a kick out of this, guys. Motivation alone is not enough. If you have an idiot and you motivate him, you now have a motivated idiot. I don't remember if that was Art Williams that said that or Jim Rohn that said that. I don't remember which one said that, but I loved it. Motivation is important. My gosh, Zig Ziglar, one of the best motivational speakers ever. I got to go to church with him. He did the Overcomers Sunday School class. I mean, an amazing man, an amazing motivator. And he would say that motivation doesn't last, but neither does bathing. You got to bathe again. Well, you're going to have to get motivated, and you're going to have to get motivated again. But what I just read, motivation alone is not enough, is that we also have to grow as a person. We have to improve our skill set. We have to learn about what we're trying to do. We've got to have a little bit of foundation, not just be real motivated. If I'm a networker, but I never learn how to invite anybody to a meeting, I'm not going to have any success. Now, I can be motivated out the wazoo, but if I don't know how to make a list or invite people or whatever, if whatever your business is, you've got to learn a few basic skills, and that is a key. And motivation is good, but it's not just motivation, Jordan.
Definitely. And kind of go into whenever you were just starting out, because I don't want people to be confused here on feeling like they've got to be perfect and the most knowledgeable person in the world on a subject before they actually put in action. Does that question make sense?
No, I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to throw it back to you. But, I was a basketball. I mean, I played basketball my whole life. Then I was a basketball coach for 16 years. I lived, breathed, ate, slept basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, loved basketball. Watched every game I could watch. I was trying to steal inbounds plays from watching the Mavericks. I mean, I was just into basketball. I struggled financially. High school coaches don't make much money. So my old high school coach, a guy named J.D. Mayo, got me into network marketing. I knew nothing about network marketing. Let me say that again. Nothing. I was ignorance on fire. But what I figured out is there's no way I could learn everything and get paralysis by analysis. I would never get anywhere. So I just was ignorance on fire, and I was excited, I was fired up, and I started running around talking to people, and just my excitement got people going. And the neat thing about it, though, is my excitement got a few people going. I was learning as I was doing it. Now, was I screwing up some? Sure. I'm sure I lost some great prospects because I didn't know what in the frick I was really doing. But my excitement got me some people and got me some traction and got things going. Now, you've got an example that just happened literally 6 months ago, and that is our podcast.
Definitely. No, I would say ignorance on fire again. You know, we're so passionate about this, and we want to get this podcast going, guys, and we had no idea what we're doing. And it's, you know, I wouldn't say we're idiots, motivated idiots, but, you know, we were motivated and not real versed in this subject of podcast and how to get all of these cameras to work and the microphones to connect to everything and stuff. But we just tried, and every single step of the way we learned what we needed to be doing, so that after a few months of this, you know, it at least looks like we know what we're doing, because we're learning every step of the way, and we're still learning. And that's what we talked about earlier in the podcast, the TikTok and how to grow the channel. You know, guys, we're still looking for ways and learning ways to get more viewers onto this platform to watch this podcast, guys. And it's just learning every step of the way to get to our end game quicker.
Yeah, we pretty much sucked there the first couple of podcasts.
Sucked. But now we're here.
Now we're here. And let me say this, we still haven't arrived. I will say
we're
that.
We're a long way from arriving, guys. We got big goals and aspirations that we will achieve with this podcast, guys. But, you know, we're finally getting some traction, and can't thank y'all enough on getting us traction, because we're really enjoying doing this podcast.
So you're having fun?
I'm having a blast.
I'm having a blast. I love working with my son. Next one. The only way it gets better for you, the only way life gets better for you, is for you to get better. You know, one of the greatest pieces of advice I ever got was, if you want more, you've got to become more. Great piece of advice. You don't chase success. You attract success by the person you become. And, you know, I'm going to bare my soul again and tell you guys that when I was at UTA, University of Texas at Arlington, that's where I went to college, I was on the Just Get Me Out of Here program. Did I learn some? Yeah, I learned some, because I had to learn enough to at least get through the test, enough to pass. So I learned some, but I could have learned so much more. I am now a lifelong learner. Jordan, on the live this morning, every time somebody tells me about a book, or I see a book that I want to read, I try to buy it. On my desk, I got a stack of books about, you know, yay high. And I'm reading every day. I read every day. But I'm getting more books faster than I can read them, but I'm trying to grow as a person. I'm telling you, if you want more, you've got to become more. If you want your life circumstances to change, you've got to change. So start reading. Jordan's pointed that out. Read 10 pages a day. That's somewhere 10, 15 books in a year's time. If you'll just read 10 pages a day, watch Personal Growth Giants, jump on the Residual Earners podcast, and start running with winners. And if we'll do that stuff, we will start changing if we want to. You know, we just need to understand, if it's important enough to us, we'll figure out how. And if it's not important enough to us, we'll figure out an excuse. But I'm going to tell you this, life's going by, guys. I mean, life goes by quickly. Our most valuable asset is not the money in the bank, but it's our time. Don't waste any time. But the only way it gets better for you is for you to get better, Jordan.
Definitely, guys. And you didn't mention another way for if you are listening to this podcast, you can go on to TikTok and look at our lives and enjoy our morning lives because we're going to be doing them every morning. So that's another way to get a daily dosage of Presley and I giving some motivational and success tips.
Wow.
Life lessons.
You know, one of my points was the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Buddy, I'm telling you, guys, understand, it ain't like my plate wasn't full. It's not like Jordan's plate wasn't full, but we just added, hour and a half, 2 hours in the morning very early. Him being in Calgary, he'll start this at 5 a.m. I'll start it at 6 a.m. here Central Time. So the pain of discipline, but I'm excited. My gosh, this morning we had 12,000 people listening to us, and my gosh, that excited me. I mean, I got pretty pumped up.
Definitely, and this is still new to us. That's what's so awesome, guys. And it's just putting ourselves in an uncomfortable situation and trying to better ourselves, and then also trying to just give you something of value.
That's it. My next point. And you keep an eye on time because I'm just having fun. So, I could sit here for hours.
You got 5 more minutes, big dog.
5 more minutes. My gosh, I got to talk faster, guys. That means y'all got to listen faster.
But it's funny. Everybody on the lives always says you need to take a breath. That comment comes in so often. You need to take a breath.
My next point is don't wait for the inspiration to do something big. You be the inspiration. We've got to look in the mirror and just say, if it's to be, it's up to me. I mean, we really do have to come to grips with that nobody else is going to make our dreams come true. Nobody else is going to do our push-ups for us. Nobody else is going to grow inside us. Nobody else is going to give us knowledge. Nobody else is going to suffer the pain of discipline, of stepping out of our comfort zone. We've got to do all of it. But the neat thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, us common folks can do anything we set our mind to. I know I keep saying that, but if I could get one thought out of me and into you, it would be that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. And it's just about taking that action, doing that. I mean, it's just about making it happen. You're going to have to make it happen. It's not going to just happen on its own. Because if you keep just going to that job and coming home and going to that job and coming home and going to that job and coming home, nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. Yeah, you may get a little raise here in a little while, and you may make just a little bit more money. But, I'm going to throw this out there, Jordan, about that. As far as your job goes, the reason I always say, if you're wanting to make a lot of money, it's probably not going to be at a job. So, because think this through. If we could snap our fingers and Monday morning you had your boss's job, you've climbed up that ladder another rung, you got your boss's job. Are you happy financially? I did that. I was talking to a big group the other day live, and in person, I guess I should say lives now, in person, and everybody just about was shaking their head no. In other words, if they got their boss's job, they would not be happy financially. And I said, okay, let's take it one more step. What if we could snap our fingers and Monday morning you could have your boss's job and have their salary? Would you be happy financially? Would that be your dream for finances? And just about to the person, they were still shaking their head no. And I said this, guys, you're climbing that corporate ladder. You need to make sure that the ladder is not leaning up against the wrong building. Because what I don't want to see anybody do is spend 5 years trying to get their boss's job, and when they get there, they realize that's not really where they wanted to be. And then they decide, okay, I'm going to work hard, and another 5 or 6, 7 years, they get their boss's job. And they realize this is not where I really wanted to be financially. And now we've spent 10 or 12 years of our life, and it really hadn't got us where we want to be. You got to look at the long term and understand that I'm going to have to do something that I do know that when I get to my end goal, I'm there, and it's where I wanted to end up. I'm climbing a ladder that gets me on top of the building that I want to be on top of.
100%. That's one of my favorite sayings that you have now that's a new saying is, make sure the ladder you're climbing up is not propped up against the wrong building. I think that's a very powerful stuff.
All right, I'm going to give them one last one, and I have several more that I wrote down, but I'm gonna.
We'll save it for later
gonna-
episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna end. We could actually do another life lesson with the stuff I've got here. Here's my last one for the day, guys. Success is not a miracle, nor is it a matter of luck. It is simply a matter of application and dedication. I'm going to challenge everybody when we get off this podcast today, when you finish watching it, I want you to do some soul searching and decide, is your life the way you want it? I mean, are you happy with where you are? And let me say this. We all need to be happy with where we are, but we all should be inspiring for more. Let me put it that way. So be happy. I don't mean it that way, but are you where you want to be? And if you're not, make a decision on what path you're going to take to get yourself there, to that place that you want to be. I'll say it one more time. Be happy with where you are. We need to be happy right now because life's too short not to be. But we can be happy now, but we inspire for more. And I want you to decide what that more is, and then I want you to start taking steps to get there. I believe it's a decision. You're going to have to make a decision that you really want to change your life. And then, my gosh, we've gone over a lot of things here. We're going over on TikTok Live where we go over them. Every time you see us, we're going over things that can help you. But you're going to have to make the decision, because if you want it bad enough, you'll figure out how. That's how life works. If you want it bad enough, you'll figure out how. If you don't want it bad enough, you'll figure out an excuse. But just understand, we do not get do-overs here. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. What kind of legacy are you leaving, ladies and gentlemen? We're all leaving a legacy. What legacy are you leaving for your kids and grandkids? If it's not the one you want, let's change it. Let's do something special. Let's make it happen.
Definitely. And here's an original thought that I just came up with. I think there's going to be two groups of people. The group that's glad they did and the group that wishes they had, guys. And I really hope you're in the glad they did category. Do you like that one?
I like that. I may use that.
Yeah, you can use it.
I may use that.
Yeah, no, you can use it, guys. No, that's one of Presley's favorite quotes that he does, or quotes or thoughts, whatever you want to call it, at the end of every in-person meeting where he's motivating people and stuff. So that's one of the first times I've been able to use it. But guys, as always, we are so thrilled that y'all joined into the podcast today. As always, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go in the comments down below. Give us topics you want us to talk about. Anything like that, guys, go in the comments. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Like the video. It helps out with all the algorithm, whatever stuff that puts us out there more, guys. So, we always enjoy y'all tuning in, and thank you so much for the support.
God bless you. We love you.
Yes, sir.
Love you.
Big dog.